you don't live in a cave, you have probably heard about Melanie Martinez at some point of your life. With initially starting her music career on an American talent show called The Voice, Melanie was able to quickly gain a loyal following of fans that supported her through every single project that she has done. And as of 2024, she's actually one of the most successful female artists today. And her new album called Portals is actually trending all over social media. And although at a surface level, it might not seem like an artist like Melanie with unique concepts that speaks up on multiple issues in the world would have any controversy to their name. But longtime fans know that there was controversy, and it still is happening today again. And I think it's time for us to properly discuss it. Hi! This whole situation is actually insane because it's actually happening right now. At the time of recording, the new information is still popping out on TikTok. It's actually insane. But before we get to the point of the video, I just know that some people may not have heard about Melanie Martinez, which is like crazy, like what? So I will quickly explain who they are. Melanie Martinez debuted in an American talent show called The Voice in 2012. You're toxic and short after, she debuted with her song Dollhouse. Girl, open the walls. And other albums and projects that are continuously trending on TikTok right now. She also has produced a movie called K-12 about her character Crybaby. She's mostly recognized for her split dyed hair. It kind of became her whole brand with her dolly dresses and dolly aesthetic. But as of 2024, she actually rebranded into this pink creature and wears this pink mask and sells candles for $100 that came in damaged. And you know, everything was going great for her at the start of her career until 2017. Timothy Heller and Melanie Martinez were friends. You see, there's a lot of pictures of them hanging out together. They were friends until December 4th, which is the day when Timothy Heller came out on Twitter with her statement about Melanie Martinez, in which Timothy accused Melanie Martinez of SA. I'm going to break down Timothy's statement because I'm not very comfortable with talking about some things mentioned, but I will provide you full screenshots of what she said so you know full details of it. In her first statement, Timothy expresses disbelief in the situation which took place, being betrayed by her best friend that she still loved. Timothy mentions that there had been a power dynamic at the time of the situation because Melanie helped Timothy at her rock bottom by taking her in, so she had more power and control over Timothy because of this situation. She said that the consequences of the action that took place caused a panic attack for which she had to apologize to Melanie because it ruined her mood, and allegedly similar instances of Melanie disrespecting Timothy's feelings have occurred multiple times. Timothy continued her statement by saying that as her friendship with Melanie grew, she had a hard time saying no to her. Then, one night at a sleepover, things got too far when Melanie started asking Timothy inappropriate and personal questions about her experience with intimacy, which Timothy was not ready to discuss since she had already been SA'd prior to this incident. But because they were best friends, she tried her best to answer those questions. Timothy states that she had a boyfriend at the time, and allegedly Melanie kept insisting on getting intimate with her despite this fact. She states that she was exhausted and just wanted to sleep, but Melanie kept bothering her with the same questions. Timothy states that this would only escalate more when allegedly Melanie convinced Timothy to smoke with her, and in this state of mind, Melanie's questions would only keep going while Timothy said no repeatedly and refused to commit to an act with Melanie. At some point, Timothy gave up, and allegedly Melanie started performing inappropriate contact on Timothy. Timothy continues her statement by saying that during the whole incident, she made it clear to Melanie that she did not consent to any acts. She finishes the statement by saying that their friendship ended and that she is terrified of the response that this confession is going to get. As the allegation was posted, it was never mentioned that the person Timothy was talking about was Melanie Martinez until Timothy briefly added it in the end. Soon enough, Melanie Martinez came out with her own side of the story, in which she said that Timothy never said no to what they chose to do together, which was a confirmation that this interaction happened. According to Timothy, the whole situation happened 2 years prior to her speaking up. And so over the next months after Timothy have posted this statement, people have been debating who do they believe. Hashtag Melanie Martinez is over party have been trending on Twitter, and people started burning Melanie Martinez merchandise. Timothy was also invited on the interview to share more insight about the situation, in which she revealed the approximate date in which the incident happened. And when this information came out, Melanie Martinez fans came to her Instagram and tracked the exact same date to see where Melanie was that day, and they found out that she was actually in another city and not with Timothy. Even though Melanie literally confirmed the fact that the interaction between Timothy and Melanie happened, apparently it was enough for friends to believe that Timothy is just a liar and that she was spreading false rumors just to end Melanie's career. Later, Melanie issued another statement. In that statement, Melanie thanked her fans for revealing false statements made by Timothy, which sounds pretty shady. Because didn't you just confirm that the situation actually happened and now you're pretending that it was just all a lie? Regardless, this is where everything went down officially. Because those two things that Melanie said were enough for friends to believe that she was innocent and Timothy was a liar, and they started to bully Timothy of all her social platforms. During that time, various false screenshots have been made, including one where she allegedly said that she lied about all of this because she was obsessed with Melanie, which was faked. It was proven to be fake. Timothy was constantly criticized and was forced to quit her music career because Melanie Martinez fans wouldn't stop calling her out. And she was known everywhere as a person who lied about abuse. And people even started making up rumors that she also said the exact same things about other famous musicians at that time, like Billie Eilish. That was also proven to be false. Another thing that I don't understand from Melanie, she didn't stop this whole bullying at all. She didn't tell her fan base to just leave Timothy alone. Regardless of who is right or not, nobody ever deserves such treatment. And I am pretty sure that Melanie was aware of this happening. Eventually, Melanie Martinez fans followed Timothy for years, forcing her to quit every single career that she got herself into and humiliating her all over internet. And what makes the situation even worse and even more escalated is that allegedly, because of this situation, Melanie released a song called Piggyback, which had lyrics like this. Those lyrics sound very much like Melanie accusing Timothy of being a filthy liar. Another rumor that was spreading about this whole situation at the time is that it was very suspicious that both of those women had music careers and upcoming albums at that time. So people speculated that they all planned this in order to gain more attention and promote their albums, which is absolutely insane. I'm not even gonna explain this because both sides only got negative attention. Eventually, Melanie decided to take off Piggyback from all platforms because she didn't want to profit off those allegations, which is the most mature thing that has been done in this situation so far. And this whole thing could have just go down in history, as I just told you, as it is, if only something didn't happen quite recently. Something that has caused multiple Melanie Martinez fans to revisit the situation and actually change their opinion and support Timothy. What happened was that as of today, as of I am recording right now, Timothy Heller have posted a TikTok where she addressed every single point and she debunked every single rumor about said situation. So let's watch it.
Whether you know who I am or not, I ask you to please listen to my story. If you do recognize me, then you haven't heard from me in a couple of years. and that's because I was effectively run off the internet. You also may have heard that I admitted to lying or that it was proven that I lied. Neither are true. Speaking out against my abuser ruined my life. Here's how we got to that point. During the Me Too movement, I chose to speak out against a former friend who had essayed me. I was young, naive, and could never imagine how this would end up affecting my life. I believed that as long as I told the truth, things would turn out all right. I was very wrong. After my initial statement, describing in detail what happened, my abuser issued a statement in response. She used the sentence, "She never said no to what we chose to do together." While I did say no, in many different ways, this sentence was actually quite validating for me to hear. She clearly didn't understand how consent works, and she admitted that something took place between us. I wish it ended there. I made the mistake of doing an interview with Daily Mail. While being interviewed, they asked for more specific details, like when the incident took place. It'd been around 2 years prior, so I didn't remember the exact date. What I did remember was a picture I took the next day. I went back in my camera roll, found the picture, and told them the day of the incident was the day before. Unfortunately, I was wrong. The picture in my camera roll appeared multiple times. I can't explain why. When the interview came out, her fans went back in her posts to that date to find that we were in different states. If you've never heard my story before, you might at this point wonder, why would that matter? She admitted something between you took place in her statement. I agree, and this is just one of the parts that drives me crazy. After this discovery, she released a second statement, in which she thanks her fans for researching the timeline and analyzing past Instagram posts which reveal my false statements. Unfortunately, this was enough for 99% of her fans to take what she said as truth and deem me a liar. The complete contradiction of her statements meant nothing. The events after this are so much and so overwhelming, it's hard for me to recount. She ended up releasing essentially a diss track about me, with lyrics perpetuating the idea that I lied about all of this for fame. I was a small musician at the time, and after speaking out, gained tens of thousands of followers. While there were some supporters, the majority of the followers were people who actively hated me. I suddenly had thousands of hate accounts dedicated to me, thousands of dislikes and negative comments on all of my music, and completely ridiculous fabricated stories of me being posted online. I really hoped it would die out and people who liked me would stick around and I'd be able to move on with my career, but it never died. Anything I attempted to do was infected with this story. Googling me results in many first-page results calling me a liar. The people who hated me took it upon themselves to ruin every opportunity for me. Partnerships with brands, modeling opportunities, they were all flooded with comments saying I lied about SA. In addition to this, my home address, phone number, and family's phone numbers were all leaked. I became so discouraged with my own music career, I essentially stopped. I started doing SW in an attempt to regain some autonomy, but that was taken from me as well when people who hated me hacked the account. I was just trying to move on. My adult content was being spread and mocked by the people who hated me. Every single one of my social media accounts was hacked, including my email. The only thing they didn't get into was my bank account. I was given the classic fuck the haters advice, but until you're bombarded with the amount that I had to endure, you really can't imagine how it would affect you. It was just so much louder than any amount of support I was receiving. As you can imagine, my mental health was and is majorly affected by this situation. And while I wish I was the type of person with the confidence to say fuck the haters and stick it out, I'm just not. I'm sensitive and not self-confident and never have been. And this made it so much worse. It got to the point where I could no longer put up with the abuse. Holding on to this public image was no longer worth the pain, and I deactivated all of my public accounts. In doing this, I also saw this as completely giving up on being a musician. I couldn't put myself through the public scrutiny anymore. So that's where I've been the past couple of years, in private. It was a huge relief to no longer be bombarded with the amount of hate I was receiving every day, but now I'm stuck with the after effects. I imagine every day the life that I could have lived if this all hadn't happened. Would I be the musician I always wanted to be? It's kept me in a complete freeze state. I won't go into too much detail about how much I've been suffering the past couple of years. Frankly, it's embarrassing. I wish I could move on. But I've never wanted things to be over more than I have now. I've been in partial hospitalization programs and attempted to regain any semblance of confidence and hope for my life, but I can't shake that this is the wrong timeline for me. I didn't do anything wrong. I spoke the truth. If you're familiar with my story, you may have also heard that I admitted to lying, and I can assure you that never happened. There were photoshopped images spread around of a confession that never happened because I have nothing to confess. I never lied. You may have also heard that I accused other celebrities of this, which I can promise you never happened either. There's so many other terrible things that people have made up about me that I'm not going to dissect and defend right now. but I was successfully gaslit into thinking I was a bad person who deserved this. I am so scared to speak out about this again. There's a high possibility that I won't receive any support from this, and people who hate me will target me again, and I go back into hiding. I ask that if you are someone who is under the impression that I lied about this, to please hear me out. Please think about her contradicting statements. Please realize that there's no one on earth who knows what happened that night besides me and her, and even the smallest possibility that I could be telling the truth should be enough for you to not want to risk ruining an innocent person's life in this way. I'm completely exhausted from begging people to believe me for years now. I'm not sure what I'm hoping will come from this. It's gotten to be quite humiliating to beg people to care. But if you haven't heard my story before, thank you for hearing me, and I could really use your help in rewriting the false narrative of who I am and what happened to me.
As you probably could have noticed, wow, Timothy is an actual person with actual emotions and struggles. This is literally something that Melanie Martinez fans couldn't fathom for years. But yet we have still not heard from Melanie at all. She has not spoke up on the situation, since it's literally unfolding in front of my eyes right now. And you know, obviously this whole situation is not funny and it's not something to joke about. But what I find very weird and ironic and funny about this is that 9 hours ago, there have been an account created specifically where an anonymous person is accusing this time Timothy of SAing them. The video was literally posted 9 hours ago. This is actually crazy. What is even going on? I don't understand what's going on. Stop it. I have to tell you something. But first, I have been a fan of Melanie Martinez for over 5 years, and I just want to say that I'm very disappointed at Melanie for reacting this way at the time situation happened, and I'm very disappointed in myself for never looking into the situation and never giving Timothy a chance, even though I was a little child back then. I think we as a whole, as a Melanie Martinez fandom, have grew up and are actually starting to take things very maturely. And you know, if there's one thing that I must say, Melanie Martinez have literally shaped a part of my personality. And I just wish she spoke up on the situation properly this time, and she went point after point after point and actually gave her actual mature statement, because previous things that she said about the situation are actually pretty questionable and debatable, and they do not sound good at all from the perspective that we're looking on things right now. I want to hear both sides of the story to form my own opinion about this whole situation. But regardless, I just want to say I am sorry, Timothy. I am sorry for the way we as fans treated you this whole time. So far, Melanie has not said anything, but I will make sure to keep you up with all the updates. If anything happens, I will just be here updating you. So let me know, what do you think about this? Who do you believe, as a Melanie Martinez fan or a bystander? Because I just want to hear your opinion, because this is actually crazy. I think I'm actually going insane. I will ask you to subscribe to my channel for future updates, subscribe to my other social media that are in my description. I will please ask you to like this video or not. I don't really care. And now, bye!